Hello and welcome back to the channel. It has been one hell of a week, I'm not gonna lie. First of all, one of our cats, our lovely cat Reggie, was sadly hit by a car last night. We didn't know. He has like a tag on him, like a tracker, because he has a habit of going for walkies. Yeah, so he had a tracker on him. It showed that he was at his neighbour's, but he was there all night. So my husband went over to see what was going on and just to collect him because he has a habit of going to neighbour's house, chilling out, stuff like that. And yeah, he'd been hit by a car the night before the neighbour had found him. So yeah, really, really sad. We had only had him couple of months. He was less than a year old. Just really sad. And then his brother Ronnie is quite sad about it all, to be honest. But yeah, it's just a way of having cats. Wouldn't want them being locked up inside or anything. I'd want them to be out enjoying the outside. But yeah, so that was one thing. And then the other thing was we had the guests from hell. So we had one night stay, like last minute booking from booking.com. They seemed normal enough. And then in the middle of the night, so about 1 a.m, I woke up to hearing loud, like shouting, screaming, banging of doors, like really aggressive, like shouting and just really threatening behaviour you could hear going on. So my husband went down and like knocked on the door in between where it's attached. It's, telling them to be quiet. Took like 3 or 4 knocks before they responded. Told them to be quiet. They were disturbing the house, disturbing my daughter. It woke her up. She was quite upset. And then, the guy was like, "Oh, sorry, we'll keep it down." Like, but anyway, so reported them straight away. Because, nah, you're not staying here again when you behave like that. But yeah, so they texted asking to leave a little bit later, like half an hour later, because their clothes were wet and they needed time to dry, which tells me something was going on in here. But yeah, so I didn't do the changeover, so I don't have any footage of how it was. But my husband came and did it. Came and like just checked, and then I was going to do the changeover a later date. But yeah, they'd clearly been smoking in here. I can still smell it now. It's 3 days later. I had to close the annex for 2 days. Not cigarette smoke, if you know what I mean. And that smells bad. Like, it does not smell fantastic in here, and I can smell it, which makes me really anxious for the next guest because I can't seem to get rid of the smell, and I can usually get rid of it. So they were clearly just smoking away in here, even though we have signs that say, "Do not smoke." Yeah, so not only that, but my husband found blood all over a pillow. There was a bloody tissue that I found. They'd lit a candle to try and hide the smell. Mate, you cannot hide the smell. So there was Chinese food just like left out everywhere. My husband said there was like plates. Every single cabinet in the kitchen was open. Like crazy. And the guy had left his shoes. And then my husband said there was like wet clothes in the sink and stuff. Like, these people were clearly like off their face and using our place, and I find it disgusting. I feel like I'm really angry about it still, and I feel slightly like violated by it. And they've not damaged anything, but the smell is just horrible. Like, I can still smell it, and I've opened all the windows, and I'm going to do a deep clean today, and hopefully, if I replace some cushions, replace the duvet and some other things, I can get rid of the smell. But yeah, the guy then rang me the following day. I didn't answer because there was no way I was going to answer him. Clearly probably wanting his shoes. But yeah, blocked the number. As I said, reported them on booking.com. he's not getting his shoes back. If he turns up here, yeah, it wouldn't be a very good idea. My husband would not be. I'd have to deal with my husband, and he's a big guy. But yeah, it's just crazy. But I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'll do some time lapse as I go around, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. I just feel awful for our next guest. I think that's what upsets me the most, is I feel awful for our next guests. They're here for a honeymoon and the place stinks. And I'm just, like I say, I'm hoping once I've cleaned it, Febrezed everything to the max, washed the floors, hoovered, all of that, I'm hoping the smell will be better. But if these next guests complain and ask for a refund and want to leave, I won't be angry about that. I will say I completely understand. I've tried my best, but I can't get the smell out. But yeah, we'll time lapse it, and then I'll see you at the end. There we go. That took me 3 and a bit hours maybe. For context, usually takes me about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So this bedroom, fully replaced the duvet and all the pillows. I had them anyway just because a guest that's coming to stay is allergic to feathers, and I didn't realise, but we had feather duvet and pillows. So fully replaced those. So this room actually smells fine now. In the other room, I replaced all the bedding. Still smells very slightly in here. I'm going to fix this curtain. But I don't think it's too bad. And as there are a couple here for honeymoon, they're probably just going to use the main room. But it is there if they want it. The kitchen was fine. It's just a bit dirty, but really not the end of the world. This didn't smell that bad. And then I've left these guests bread, milk, jam and butter, the usual stuff. But yeah, checked in all the cupboards, checked there wasn't anything left behind from the previous guests. But this looks all fine. These cushions smelt fine. Bathroom was mainly fine. Like, the sink was a little bit gross, but not that bad. And the shower was okay. I was half expecting the toilet to be absolutely rank, but that was fine. So this is all fine. So bathroom wasn't a big deal. Now the sitting room, I had to replace all of these cushions and that one. Luckily Tesco's had a sale on with their cushions. So I think these actually look really nice and they're a bit bigger. So if people like bigger cushions, got those. And then, like I said, these guests are here for a honeymoon. So I've left them some Prosecco and a thank you card. But yeah, this probably took a bit longer. I had to fully put in a new throw on there. This was just covered in food. Like, what's wrong with people? But yeah, that is better. But like I say, that took a while. It's not 100%, I will be honest. It still smells slightly. But I've Febrezed it. My husband seems to think it will be fine. But like I say, if these guests are not happy, completely understand. I will completely understand, and it's just the way it is. But I've opened the windows, airing it, hoping it'll be okay. But yeah, I was just really anxious about doing this clean because it just kind of grossed me out knowing what went on in here and that these guests were that disgusting. I found like a part of a nail, like a stick-on or a fake nail or something on the floor. It's just really unpleasant when someone does that kind of thing to your property. Just kind of makes you not want to do this anymore. But I said to my husband, and my husband agrees, we get about, I don't know, since we opened this place, we've had 400 odd bookings. Probably around about, 400 nights. So I don't know, a couple of hundred bookings. We've had 4 incidences where I banned guests for doing stuff like this, where they clearly smoked, and it's always the stuff you shouldn't smoke, which is really obvious when people do it. I think they just think they can get away with it. But I think this time it was the aggressive behaviour that we heard that was really upsetting. I didn't sleep at all that night. And then it was the fact that they had obviously smoked in here, opened the windows and thought that was just a-okay. But it's not. So they'd clearly done that, and it and then just acting like they hadn't done anything wrong, like trying to ring me about their shoes that they left behind. Just all these sort of things. I just think, like, what's wrong with you? But I'm sure these next guests will be lovely. Hopefully I won't have some horrible guests again for a while. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know if you could enjoy this video, but gives an insight into what it's really like to run an Airbnb sometimes. 99.9% of our guests are lovely. Just that 0.1% are absolute, But if you like this kind of content, real honest behind the scenes stuff of what it's like to run a place like this, then like and subscribe, and hopefully see you in the next video, which will be a bit more of a positive one.